Once again, I don't know how many of y'all think it's frustrating to do any of this, but I hope this gives you some kind of inspiration. I'm a determined person. I started trying to make wrenches with my old A to Z CNC, and yeah, you know, those tool path problems. Look, I forgot to have the tool retract, different things. Finally kind of perfected that. No, I didn't perfect it, I got closer. This was my first part to jig and flip over. I chamfered it. It was alright. You know, some things, I did polish it up, but you know, some things were out of alignment on the flip. You know, were to be expected. I don't have any professional background in this. And eventually ended up converting the dyno over and getting it operating. Much more solid machine, though a smaller field of working. And started playing around, and I decided I wanted some ER16 spindle wrenches and things like that. It's got a strange flat there right here on the spindle also, so looks to be almost a 7/8. I just cut it at a .84 to give me some clearance. Made a few wrenches to fit it. Now these are after I've polished it a little bit, and you know, I have weird problems, like I get a random divot in there. This is after I polished it, so I've cleaned it up a lot. Tried different things. These are cleaned up inside the pocket. Not too bad, but nothing to write home about. You know, I am an absolute amateur, so you know, bear with me on all of it. So you know, here's some more renditions. Again, polished to some degree, but having some problems on getting around and getting a decent tool path. You can see where it enters and exits, things like that. These have no chamfer, as I figured I better get the basics down first. Too impatient to try wood. Here's another rendition. Again, you can see where the entry to the pattern comes in. I've tried to polish this. This is man, I mean, there was a lot of work even just to get it down to that finish, and that's pathetic. It should come off. I think the machine, I basically don't think you should have to touch it, just hardly. Maybe a little deburring. I think it should look beautiful by the time the machine gets through with it. But again, I'm not a machinist, but I know what a good machinist would expect. My son thought that I need an open face wrench, or an open wrench for the spindle. Actually, that one was for up here again. And so then I got the brilliant idea, well, why don't I make that little gap in it the same size as my nuts? Thought that was a pretty good idea. And then again, it's just a spindle wrench, this particular one, but I experimented with chamfer. Unfortunately, when I did the chamfer, I had the part almost cut through and it didn't support it enough and got some bad chatter. Bad chatter. This was all using Bobcat demo version 24, but look at the finishes. This is untouched. I have not polished anything. I did make a mistake in the chamfer, but prior to that, everything had been well supported and got good finishes, interior, exterior, and then I chamfered the part. I should have not cut the trench so deep before I chamfered it, and that way the material would have supported it. Or do it out of thicker material and then flip it over and fly cut it from the back so the part falls out. I think that way it'd keep you from hurting the edges of your finally finished part. Either way, leave any tips. See ya.